Once upon a time, in the magnificent Dazzlefort Castle in Shimmerland, as the first rays of a sunny morning filtered through, Princess Lila was passing through the hall humming a cheerful melody. It was, as always, a melody in tune with her heart's rhythm, joyful, lively, and full of hope. But suddenly, her melody was cut off. Silence enveloped her. The chirping of birds, the clattering of dishes in the kitchen, and even the gentle hum of the castle itself had vanished. This silence was eerie, unfamiliar, and unsettling. Princess Lila, determined to find the source of this silence, furrowed her brows. Curiously, she rushed to the library. The library was usually filled with the rustle of pages and the peaceful snores of the elderly librarian, Mr. Whiskers. But today, the shelves stood in eerie silence. Even Mr. Whiskers was unusually peaceful with a serene smile as he slept. Mr. Whiskers, wake up! Lila shook his shoulder with concern. Mr. Whiskers woke up with a bewildered grunt. Princess Lila, what brings you to the library on such a beautiful morning? Mr. Whiskers, where have all the sounds gone? Lila asked anxiously. Mr. Whiskers furrowed his brows. Sounds? My dear, I haven't heard any sounds this morning either. It's as if the entire castle has been silenced. With her curiosity piqued, Lila ran around checking every corner of the castle, the corridors, and the kitchens. Everything seemed normal, yet there was a disturbing silence lingering. With each step, her unease grew. Determinedly, she took her reliable magnifying glass and the mysterious detective hat she used in such mysterious cases. This is a case for Princess Lila, the Wonder Detective, she declared, puffing up her chest. She was determined to solve this mystery and bring back the castle's sound. Lila began searching for clues to find the source of the silence. She carefully examined the paintings on the walls, the rugs in the corridors, and the curtains on the windows. She searched for clues in every nook and cranny, in every shadow. Finally, she found a solitary breath, a sparkling trail leading to a hidden room behind the royal kitchen. Inside, up to his knees in height, was a mischievous elf working on a strange contraption filled with sparkling crystals. Excuse me, Lila said, trying not to sound scared. The elf turned around startled. He was not taller than her, with a mischievous grin and a pointed green hat. Oh my goodness! A princess! I've never seen one up close before. I am Princess Lila, she said, and I need to know why your contraption has stolen all the sounds of the castle. The elf burst into laughter. Stolen? No, I just borrowed them. Borrowed them? Lila furrowed her brows. The elf explained his invention. He had built a sound siphon that captured all the music around and stored it in crystals. I just wanted to create a super quiet day to take a little nap for some peace and quiet, he confessed sheepishly. Lila understood the elf's desire for some peace. Being a princess can be noisy sometimes, but she was saddened that the whole castle was suffering because of it. She needed to find a solution. Princess Lila and the elf worked tirelessly in the workshop for days to complete a miniature sound siphon. Finally, the big day arrived. The elf activated the sound siphon in the main hall of the castle, and suddenly all the sounds returned. Birds chirped, dishes clattered in the kitchen, and Mr. Whiskers resumed his snores. The castle came alive again with joy and music. The king and queen praised Princess Lila's wit and generosity. The elf promised to use his inventions responsibly and became part of Shimmerland Castle. But the story didn't end there. A few weeks later, Princess Lila woke up again to a mysterious sound. This time it was a rattling, as if someone were hitting a metal object. She got up and stealthily made her way out of her room, listening to the echoing sounds in the corridors. The rattling was coming from the high towers where the royal treasury was located. In the darkness of the night, with the elf's help, she climbed the tower stealthily. When they reached the tower, they were frozen in astonishment. The door to the royal treasury was ajar, and inside, a ghostly figure was rummaging through the treasure chests. The elf's sound siphon, which he now used to collect the sparkling glints from the jewels in the treasure, illuminated the room. Princess Lila looked at the elf, unsure of what to do. The elf, however, wore a mischievous smile. They had a plan. As Lila quietly backed away, the elf threw himself into the center of the treasure room. "Hey! Who do you think this belongs to?" he shouted in his thin voice. The ghostly figure spun around, startled. He was dressed in a black cloak, wearing a hood that concealed his face. "Who are you?" the thief hissed at the elf. "I am," the elf puffed himself up, "the fiercest, most powerful guardian of the castle, mighty elf Gideon." The thief burst into laughter. "Am I supposed to be afraid of an elf? Don't underestimate me." According to the plan she had made with Princess Lila beforehand, the elf acted. He pulled a rope secretly tied to the ceiling of the treasury. A bucket full of water poured down from the top of the treasury onto the thief. The soaked man cursed angrily. His thieving plan had been foiled. Princess Lila and the elf watched as the thief made his escape. As he fled, a piece of jewelry fell from his cloak. It was a part of the king and queen's crowns. The next morning, armed with the jewelry piece left by the thief, Princess Lila and the elf went to the king and queen. They didn't know who the thief was, but the jewelry could provide a clue. Impressed by their daughter's courage and the elf's intelligence, the king and queen immediately summoned the royal guards and instructed them to show the jewelry to the kingdom's jewelers. Days later, the guards returned. The jewelry piece perfectly matched a missing part of a crown belonging to a rogue baron living at the southern border of the kingdom. The king promptly ordered his capture. Princess Lila and the elf realized that the rogue had been drawn to the sparkle in the sound siphon and attempted to use it to rob the treasury. After the rogue was captured, the sound siphon was handed over to the royal guards. The king and queen expressed their gratitude to Princess Lila and the elf. Princess Lila knew that she and the elf would embark on many adventures together. Shimmerland Castle would always remain full of mysteries, and they were always ready to solve them and preserve the castle's peace.